All right, guys, we got this. Let's go. Gun wide trip sweep. Pros X go. On one. Ready?
Ready.
What's up, guys? It's Pick'em with HuddleGG, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about something we get quite a few questions on, and that's Mable Coverage. First, we'll talk about what Mable Coverage is and how it works. Then at the end of the video, we'll show you through our offensive coordinator tool, one of the best setups in the game to attack Mable Coverage. With that being said, let's hop into it. And what Mable Coverage is, again, for this video, we're going to be talking in Madden terms, okay? It is a little bit different when you're talking real football, but in Madden terms, what people are talking about when they're talking about Mable Coverage is double flatting one side, right? Two flat zones to one side of the field. All right, now, if we look at any of these plays here, in any formation really, your stock plays are going to have one flat zone to each side of the field, right? So when you look at your zone coverages, a flat zone is going to be a purple or a light blue zone, okay? So here in cover 3 sky to the right, you see how we have the two purples, one to each side, right? So each side has one flat zone, right? If we go to a Tampa 2, they're going to have the light blue, right? Those outside corners, those cloud flats, those are going to be your flat defenders, okay? So again, one to each side of the field. Same thing with cover 4 quarters here. That pinkish purple zone are your flat defenders. You're going to have one to each side of the field, okay? Now, when it comes to Mable, what you're going to see is you're going to have two flat zones to one side of the field, okay? So if we're looking at a play like this, cover 3 sky, like I said, we have one flat zone to each side, right? We have a purple to each side of the field. To create a Mable coverage, all we would need to do is add a second flat to that same side as the curl flat, okay? So on the left side here, this yellow hook curl, let's just put him in a hard flat. Now we've created a Mable coverage to the left side of the screen, okay? We have two flats, and you want them at different depths, right? You don't want to put this guy in a curl flat and have two curl flats. That's going to be counterintuitive to what you want, right? So you want to shut off the sideline is in essence what we're doing here, because we're able to put multiple people at different levels so they can't run a flat in a corner because we have someone covering the flat and we have someone covering the corner, okay? Now, when it comes to the most effective way to set up a Mable, again, what we like to run these against are these flood concepts. That's what people are going to run it the most against. So if you come out in a play like this and they're running a flat, something like this, right? Flat corner streak to the short side of the field. If we just have a normal one flat defender out there, right? They can attack him, right? They can go short if you don't play short. And then if we would run that same exact concept and we take away the flat defender, right? So let's say we take away that flat defender with our defense. Now they're going to be able to easily throw the corner behind it, right? Our quarterback obviously didn't make the right throw there, but you can see he is wide open at that position, okay? Now, when it comes to Mabling, you can't just Mable in general, right? If you just Mable, right? So let's say we put that hard flat back out there, right? So you have the curl flat and you have a hard flat, right? So we have two flats at different depths, but curl flats are not the best at getting to the sideline at depth, okay? So here we're gonna run that same concept. Again, just play art wise, it looks like we'd be able to cover both the corner and the flat. But if we run this play, what you're going to see is we're still able to throw this over top of the curl flat and get that ball caught there on the sideline, okay? So how can we set up the most effective style of a Mable? And what we want to do is we want to use the zone drops, okay? So zone drops are something they added a few years ago. When you go to your coaching adjustments here, you have these zone drops here at the bottom, right? So what we want is we actually want to set our flats to be our deeper flat zone, okay? So you can go 30 or 25 here, and then your curl flats are going to be your purples, okay? So this is going to be your light blues, this is going to be your purples. So our purples, let's set to 5, okay? Now, the best way to set up a Mable coverage is actually going to be out of a cover 2 shell where we use the outside corner as our light blue or our deep flat zone, okay? So if we look at this play here, the reason cloud flats are better is, one, they get to the sideline quicker, okay? So they're going to get to the sidelines quicker than a purple is, which is what we want him to do. And also they're starting with outside leverage, so they're already starting out and they're going to be in a lot better position to back up to where they need to be, okay? So here, if we put our slot corner on a curl flat, we've created a Mable here. And something you're also going to see a lot of people do is they'll back off that corner to allow him to start at an even deeper spot to make sure he gets to that 25 or 30 yard depth quicker, right? If he starts pressed, right, you don't want him to be pressed because at times now he's not going to get back to 25 or 30 by the time the corner route is there. So you're going to see people back this guy up a lot just to, again, give him a better starting point on the play. Now, if they try to run that same concept that we just talked about with this flat corner and streak, they're not going to be able to throw this anymore. Okay, so if they try to make that read, you can see we have that DB sitting there waiting in that exact spot to make a play on that ball. Okay, so if we go to the replay real quick, again, you can see that, again, the flat route is taken care of with our flat zone defender, right? Our 5-yard curl. Now this curl flat is going to back up to a perfect spot, or this cloud flat is going to back up to a perfect spot to be in position to make a play on this corner route. Okay, and then obviously we have the safety over the top to help out on the streak. Okay, so this is the main way you're going to see Mable coverage in Madden, where we have the outside corner going to 25-30, and then we have a slot corner, a linebacker, someone like that going to this 5-yard depth to take away the underneath, right? So we're taking away the underneath and the deeper sideline route here on this play. Now, if we go to our offensive coordinator tool, you're going to be able to see exactly how we can set up a play that's going to really attack Mable coverage, whether it's a cover 2 shell, cover 3 shell, cover 4 shell, it doesn't matter. So let's hop over to that real quick. Once we're over at our website, we're going to go to the top of the page and you're going to see the offensive coordinator tab. Okay, we're going to click that, and then it's going to bring forward all of our offensive game plans that we have on the site this year. Now, what you can see is we can click one or multiple game plans. For the sake of this video, we're just going to select AntCap's Arizona Cardinals offense to bring forward to the actual tool itself. Okay, so if we go to continue here, you're going to see on the right side of the screen, it's going to give us all of these different coverage options that you may see throughout a game. Okay, and then it's going to also populate all the plays of the game plan here to the left. So what you'll see here is if you go to the bottom, you see this cover 3 section, there's a section that's called Mable. Okay, so if we select Mable here, you're going to see it populate the most effective plays in order that you want to use against Mable. Now, as you can see, a lot of this game plan is really good against cover 3 Mable style plays. And it's going to, again, you can see it rates it based off of this bar, right? So the full green bar means it's going to be the best play possible. And then as you go down, you see the bars start to get lower and lower. Okay, so you want to pick something towards the top, right? So let's pick the play out here. Okay, now when you get to this play, it's going to, one, show you what this particular play does against every type of coverage, right? So let's say your opponent is in something you weren't expecting. Let's say he was in cover 3 cloud instead. Okay, we can still run this against cover 3 cloud and cover 3 sky and have good success there. Okay, now to the left side, you can see the actual setup here at the bottom with our progression reads, and then you can watch the video itself. Now, if you're in the middle of a game and you don't want to watch the whole video, you can select this little tab here, and it'll show you just the play art and just the screenshot of what the setup should look like. Okay, so now that we have that, let's hop back into practice mode and put this play to work. Now that we're back in practice mode, we're going to navigate to the play that we just found in the offensive coordinator tool to attack Mable coverage, and that's going to be the play call out of the formation gun empty chips tight. Okay, now when we come out on this play, we want to have the trips to the short side of the field. Okay, and what we're going to do setup wise is we're going to put the tight end on a fade. We're going to put the outside receiver to the right on an out route. We're going to streak both receiving threats to the left, and we're going to motion this running back out just a few steps here. Okay, so this is what our play art's going to look like. Now, if we're facing any cover 3 style Mable, okay, so what do I mean by that? Any Mable where they're playing cover 3 on the back end, right? Deep middle third, 2 outside thirds. We're going to be able to attack deep down the seam with our tight end. Okay, it does not matter what those flats are set to, 5, 10, 25. It does not matter there because we're not actually attacking with the out routes here. We're going to be attacking with this tight end, again, deep in that seam. Okay, so what you're going to see here is the 2 streaks to the left will take the safety's attention, and he's going to turn his hips to the left, which allows us to open up this window to the right to throw this, and you can see there we're able to get a big gain and actually turn that into a touchdown. Okay, now again, that's even with the deep out zone safety there. So again, that's about as good or about as well as they're going to break on that play. But what you'll see here is if we look at this from the safety's perspective, because he has these 2 vertical threats to the right, he turns his hips that way. Okay, as soon as he turns his hips that way, it's opening up this seam route here to the tight end. And you can see our deep out here is going to hold the corner down. Okay, so we don't have any outside defender here. So this, again, opens up this seam route. We're going to throw this away from the safety. And again, you can rat catch that and get yourself into the end zone. Okay, now what happens if they are running a Mable coverage that we talked about that's going to be more sound, right? So let's say they are doing something like this where they're running the cover 2. They're even backing off the outside corner. And let's say they're using this guy over the middle of the field. Okay, now if they're doing that, what you're going to see is when we set this up, again, we're still setting it up the same way, But now we're going to attack with those double outs, okay? Typically when people are putting Mable on, they're going to have, again, the one at 5 yards, so an underneath, then the other guy at 25 or 30. Okay, so we're going to use that B receiver to take away the 5-yard flat defender, right? But then that RB is actually going to cut underneath the deep defender. Okay, so what you're going to see here is, again, we see that flat taken away. We can throw this underneath that outside and get that easy completion there on the sideline. Okay, so again, if it's a cover 3 shell, we can attack with that tight end down the seam. But if it's a cover 4, cover 2 shell here, what you're going to see is we're just going to put these guys at depths that people don't want to run their zone drops at. Right here, we're taking away the 5. That's fine. You can take that away. But this route's running to about 18 yards, and he's going to cut underneath. You see how that corner's still backing up? Because, again, most of the time, they're going to have him at 25 or 30. So he's going to keep backing up, which is going to open up this window right here on the sideline for us to get an easy completion. And, again, you could do this time and time again anytime you see that your opponent is in Mable coverage. And, again, if you check out that offensive coordinator tool, you're going to find many other options that you can use when your opponent is in this style of coverage.